On the southernmost tip of South Africa lies the Cape Peninsula, a place of wild beauty and urban sprawl, where the relationship between humans and baboons is strained, to say the least. Nowhere more so than here, the home of the Dagama troop. It's 5 a.m, but this mob are already disturbing the peace. The Dagama troop were named after the Navy base they live on, here in the suburbs of Cape Town. Although the surrounding hills offer lush vegetation, their preferred hangout is this apartment block, government housing designed for Navy staff and their families, not for baboons to sit and precariously scratch themselves on. But in the wild, they sleep up cliffs or tall trees, so this is perfect. They've occupied the roof, like noisy students, except they're awake a lot earlier. It's no wonder the residents are fed up with a regular 5 a.m. wake-up call. For the Dagama troop, this tower block is irresistible, especially for the youngsters. The brickwork makes a perfect climbing frame for little Roger and his family. On Dagama's rooftops this morning, all is not well. Angry calls echo through the town. Trouble is brewing. Baboon society is male-dominated and has a complex hierarchy. The alpha male is the boss, but under him, the young Turks are forever snapping at each other's heels. James Dean is about 5 years old, not yet mature enough to challenge for the top spot, but his surging hormones give him a terrible temper. He can't take on a bigger male, so he vents his frustration on a hapless female, Band-Aid. The poor females often bear the brunt of the boys' tantrums. The whole troop is now kicking off. The male's aggressive barks, known as wahoos, get the windows rattling, much to the residents' dismay. James Dean seems determined to give Band-Aid a bit of a pasting, but help is at hand. Old George is the much-loved veteran of the troop. Once a tough leader, he still gallantly leaps in to defend a damsel in distress. He clambers to Band-Aid's side, keeping James Dean at bay. Once the stroppy teenager admits defeat, Old George can climb down. Yeah, he's still got it. The troop can finally settle down to the serious business of mucking about with a bit of plastic. But with these rascals, there's bound to be trouble. Especially for the long-suffering human residents of Dagama. Further north on the Cape Peninsula, baboons live in a very different setting. The Tokai troop's home is dense forest, but the internal primate politics are the same. Most baboon troops have a tough leader. Males have to fight their way to the top, and once they're there, they will vigorously defend their title. In the Tokai troop, Danny's the boss. He looks like a bruiser with that split nose. While the young males have to battle for status, the females are born into it. If your mum is high-ranking, your daughters will be too, like baboon royalty. But if you're unlucky enough to be at the bottom, then you just have to accept that you're going to get pushed around. This wretched baboon is Rat, the oldest member of the troop, and she has the dubious honour of being the lowest-ranking baboon in Tokai. She's doing well, though. She's about 25 years old. In the wild, baboons rarely make it to 30. Rat hobbles along at the fringe of the troop. She's banished there in case a predator strikes, so she'll be attacked first, not the top brass. Nice to know your place, isn't it? Most days, the troop leaves their forest home to raid the local vineyard. The owners try all manner of ways to keep them out. Guards banging sticks, electric fences, even rubber snakes. But baboons are very smart. They always get through, and often cause thousands of dollars of damage. Winemaking is big business in South Africa, and as the vineyards expand into the baboons' foraging territory, the grapes are seen as fair game by Danny and his gang of Chardonnay thieves. What they actually love most is the barley growing between the rows of grapes. Despite the risk of a run-in with the farmers, it's a tempting treat that's too good to miss. Normally they would spend the day eating and playing, but today there's a surprise in store. While Danny is busy stuffing his face at the far end of the vineyard, he hasn't noticed a strange baboon surveying his patch. This is Clint. He's a young male, 6 or 7 years old, who's been kicked out of his troop because he's approaching sexual maturity, and he's looking for a new family. He has a radio collar fitted by biologists studying his behaviour. With such a tough clan leader, Clint should think very carefully before coming any closer. So far, he hasn't been spotted by the troop. But if he's caught, he could find himself in big trouble. Back at the Navy base, the Dagama troop is up and ready to start a busy day, and they're not the only ones. The residents, probably bleary-eyed from lack of sleep, are also up and about, setting off to work and a welcome respite from their noisy neighbours. This side of town is not the wealthiest. The homeowners here can't afford to replace or repair property damaged by the baboons, yet every day they have to put up with some new act of monkey vandalism. The baboons are not deliberately making themselves unpopular. To them, the town is one huge playground. Anything man-made is worth investigating. The washing is getting more of an airing than the owners intended. Mind you, lavender 90. Yeah, you can probably keep that. The hormonal young male, James Dean, seems to have calmed down a bit. Perhaps he's using that sponge ball as a stress reliever. I hope so. The teenage tearaways could do with some leadership, but alpha male Gundy has only one thing on his mind: a bit of quality time with Marbles, a fine female currently in season. Each female follows a monthly cycle, when she's most fertile and at her most irresistible to the boys. Her inflated and rather colourful rump is the giveaway sign. The window for conceiving will last only 3 or 4 days, so Gundy will shadow her all the time to keep other males away. While he's otherwise engaged, the youngsters run riot. But playtime is over. The baboon monitors have arrived to drive the baboons off the houses and allow the neighbourhood a bit of peace and quiet. Usually, where the alpha male leads, the baboons follow. But for the few short days that she's in season, Gundy doesn't care where he goes, as long as it's after Marbles. It takes a while to round up the 25-strong troop, but once Marbles and Gundy make their move, the rest of the gang follow. James Dean's not letting go of that sponge ball. For once, a female, Marbles, is leading the gang. The town is surrounded by the Dagama Park, which is covered in rich vegetation. In fact, there are 1,100 plant species here, more than in the entire United Kingdom. It's not as calorie-rich as the leftover chips and donuts from the town, but it's where a baboon belongs. Marbles and Gundy find a quiet spot for a bit of TLC. Marbles knows the way to a man's heart is a good back rub. Grooming is the key to baboon bonding. The big protea flowers are succulent and packed with nectar. Proteas are native to Cape Town and would usually form a large part of their natural diet. They seem to briefly lose interest in the human world. From their romantic getaway, Gundy and his girl take a moment to share a romantic meal for two. Back in Tokai, Danny and his troop are still at large in the vineyard, wreaking havoc for the local farmers. And shadowing their every move, the intruder. This is a young male called Clint. Now about 7 years old, he's been kicked out of his own troop and is looking for a new home. Unaware of the interloper, the Tokai kids cool off. This troop is crazy about water. Racing around muddy puddles is a favourite occupation. Watching the other monkeys playing is Cyclops, the little infant who had injured an eye on a wire fence. Against all odds, it seems to be healing. He's a fighter. He still looks a bit unsure about playing with the other kids and stays close to his mother, Persepolis, but I'm glad to discover that his future's looking brighter. Clint, the intruder, doesn't want to cause alarm. Moving in aggressively could get him in serious trouble with Danny, the troop's fierce leader, so he's trying the gentle approach, hoping the others will allow him to join in with the barley feast. If he wants in, he'll have to be patient. It's all a question of time. Back on the flowery hills surrounding the town, the Dagama troop is sleeping off their busy morning. Sadly, living around people, baboons here have developed something of a sweet tooth, and it's not long before they need to return to town for their sugar fix. Marbles makes the first move, and of course her doting lover, alpha male Gundi, follows. The rest of the troop follow their leader, even though he might be blinded by love. They're heading for the neighbouring town, Welcome Glen, and the baboon monitors are waiting for them. But if these monkeys want to satisfy their craving for junk food, they'll have to get past security. The others watch as Marbles tries to sneak her way past. That was just too easy. The monitors are overwhelmed as the monkeys just saunter into town. Just got to get across the road. And they're in. They're past the monitors, but now there's something else to contend with. The doggy chorus lets everyone know the baboons are in town. Dogs, working together as a team. Textbook. This is Welcome Glen. Rich pickings here. Take whatever you can and leg it. Just checking the house prices. Baboons love bread, particularly sliced white, easy to digest, with a low glycemic index. Except the crusts. They've been rumbled. Pretty soon the long-suffering residents arrive to break up the raiding party. Someone has to clear up after these jokers. The monitors finally catch up, and this time they mean business. With their bellies full and with monitors and dogs hot on their heels, they call it a day. Marbles leads the way, back to the safety of their apartment block on the Navy base. It's been a busy day for baboons and commuters, both getting home at the same time. Young male James Dean fancies a room for the night. And while youngsters distract the locals, he sneaks in. He must have known something the rest of us didn't. Just as he gets under cover, the heavens open. The whole clan starts looking for shelter. James Dean has hit the jackpot. A single bed, no minibar. Perhaps he'll be in a better mood tomorrow after a good night's sleep. As the troop settles down, the humans contemplate another sleepless night, courtesy of their furry flatmates. Baboons are extremely adaptable and have found a way to live in an urban environment. Whether the humans can adapt to them is another matter. James Dean's room with a view is just the sort of thing that may push this fragile relationship over the edge. But as darkness falls, both man and beast settle for the night, and I hope at least a few hours of peace and quiet. Coming up next time, the Smiths troop is in trouble. Fred has a meltdown and chases a man around a car. And Clint is looking for a new home. But will the Tokai welcome this handsome stranger?